I did not come back to the model table last night like I planned. Now, I did sort of come back, and then I realized that there was something rather important that I should be doing, which we will probably be talking about a little later today, and I'm sure you will understand. But I had planned to come back and take the rotator here and put some of these pieces on it and just carefully turn around and have a nice close look with the macro lens. Yeah. And there's another thing that I want to try to decide to do, whether I'm going to do it or not today, and that is, am I going to paint part of this black? I was noticing when I was watching Steve's episode 50, and he was showing the final conclusion and everything, that, he had done his in black. Well, I knew he was doing it in black. Because he's got his extremely authentic, whereas mine is just sort of, it looks all right. But let's not be harping on that all day. I'm sure that most of you saw episode 50. Beautiful job he did there. You're to be congratulated, Steve. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to harp on that all day, didn't I? Okay, let me just clean up the mess here, and we'll take a close look at some of this stuff. Now, I was just about to start putting together my airbrush here, and then I remembered there was something rather important that I wanted to mention, and that is this. There was two mistakes I made yesterday. First of all, I had the pressure turned up too high, but the second mistake was I had forgotten that I had the 0.5 millimeter nozzle in instead of the 0.3. So I was going through the paint pretty fast. And I did notice, if you remember, I did sort of a check there and added paint about halfway through. And I was very surprised that we'd gone through that entire reservoir, almost full of paint. Well, the reason was the pressure was too high, and I had the 0.5 millimeter nozzle in. I don't know if maybe I should have put the 0.3 in, and well, you know what? I should have turned I find that this nozzle works really, really well. I'm very happy with it, and some of the viewers had also mentioned that they use a 0.5 all the time. Now, I'm going to continue to use the 0.5, but what I should have done was had the presence of mind to have turned the pressure down a little and then moved in closer to the part, and tried to be a little bit more delicate. I was going at it, you might say, like a bull in a china shop. Okay, now I'll put this together. Now, just after I finished taking this shot and I was starting to put together the airbrush, I noticed a delivery truck pulling up and stopping in front of my house. We know what this is, don't we?
Thank you. The drill bit.
Okay, I'm not going to pretend that I just brought this in, because a couple hours has passed here, but I honestly have not opened it yet. Sure glad I can cut out the dead spots. Couldn't find my knife. Oh, I see. Okay, I did know that there was 5 of each. Okay, one of the viewers had mentioned that they break really easy, and at least the small ones. Well, I kind of know that from experience. So I could have got, I believe it was, you can get just one, but for I think about twice as much money, you get 5 of each instead of just one of each. And we'll put the macro lens on and take a look. Now, I spent probably, I'm guessing, 2 or 3 minutes trying to figure out how do you open these things. You know, I twisted this way and that way, and I finally figured it out. I don't think I have ever seen a box that opens quite like this. And that's the latch. And it goes something like this. Okay, then it opens up. And there we are. Okay, now we'll put the macro lens on. Oh, that's tiny. Okay, from the biggest to the smallest. And being as it was Tony who first told me about these, going on 2 years or more ago, we'll use Tony's tweezers to pull it out. I can move in just a little bit closer yet. This is the smallest one. What is this one? 0.3 millimeters? 1/3 of a millimeter? Okay, so once again, this is the smallest one. And I'm just using my number 11 blade here to point. But I don't believe I've ever seen a drill bit like that. The flutes are different. It does appear to be incredibly sharp somehow out here at the point. But the flutes do not seem to spiral. They either that or I just can't see it. Maybe you can see it in your monitor, but I'm looking. I've got my magnification hood on right now. Maybe what we'll do is we'll put this little bit in the electric drill, and we will run it very, very slowly, and we will see if the flutes tend to spiral up. You would think they should, so it would clear debris, but the end, like I say, I've never seen anything quite like this before. I will put the macro lens back on. I just wanted you to see how I've got it set up here. This is just to hold it steady so it'll stay in focus for the macro lens. Oh yeah, that should work. Okay, I am in as close as I can get here. And when I was looking in the monitor, it almost appeared as though there was a little fluffy or something on the end of the bit. I would say that these are probably the most precision bits I have ever had, at least as far as small goes. Now you can clearly see that the flutes do remove the debris, if I was to lay this blade on the bit, it should run it up. I'm happy with these. Nice and true. No wobble. Or so very little anyway. I'm really happy with those. Look at the time. You know what time it is? Now, in yesterday's comments, one of the viewers mentioned that today was Pizza Day. And I was thinking, yeah, Pizza Day. And then all of a sudden I realized I ate the last piece last week and I haven't made a new pizza. So, anyway, I went to the freezer and got a Delicious here, as you can see. And, yeah. And you're probably wondering, how do I calculate how many calories there is in this slice here? Well, this is the way I do it. Now, this pizza, I didn't put any extra topping on it. I just took it right out of the box. And according to the, on the back, if you flip the pizza over, you got the nutrition factor. And it tells you how many calories there is. Now, in this case, it gives it to you by quarter of a pizza. And there's 490 calories in 1/4 pizza. So that means that the whole pizza has 1,960 calories in it. Now, after this pizza is baked and some of the moisture has gone out of it, it only weighs 789 grams. Now, I weighed it accurately, and I moved it around on the scale just in case, and that's exactly how much it weighed. It might have weighed a little less if it dried out a little more. Now you just do some simple math here. You take your 1,960 calories, divided by your 789 grams, and it works out to 2.48 calories per gram. And so that's how I can figure out, well, more or less accurately, how many calories there is in a slice. I just have to weigh each slice individually. Yeah, it's not rocket science. We'll call it 251. $1,246. Pizza day is always a bad day on the diet. And that's it for today. Now, I almost forgot, but our friend Richard Bust did get back to us about that bird, and it was a woodpecker. Yeah, what did he call it? A hairy woodpecker or something? Anyway, and one of the viewers also confirmed that that's what it was. So anyway, thank you, Richard, and thank you, Casey. Okay, we'll take some measurements and everything when I get that little Tamiya drill made up, and we'll find out if these things will fit in the chuck. If you remember, there was 2 chucks. So with that Tamiya drill, so I imagine the larger one will accommodate these, and if it doesn't, well, we'll figure something out. But it seems to me that I had said something to the effect of we were going to put the some of these parts on the rotator and look at them. And I think we better do that. We're sort of running out of time here today, aren't we? Doing too much messing around with other stuff. Okay, let's get our macro lens on here and take a look at this. And the other one. Okay, and now for the other two pieces, I'm going to have to actually back off a little bit, but we'll still use the macro lens. Now you can see why we have to back off. And the other one. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how can I show this. It's so big. It's hard to show close up. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to show it in sections, I guess. At least the two ends. But that's going to have to be in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.